So I want you to imagine something for a second. Right now, there are millions of people just, walking around with a little piece of glass and metal strapped to their wrist.
Right.
And this thing, it can pay for your morning coffee, coach your workout, monitor your heart, and even automatically call an ambulance if you get into trouble.
Which is pretty wild when you actually stop and think about it.
It sounds totally like sci-fi, right? But for millions of people, it's just, a regular Tuesday. We've accepted it so quickly that we almost take it for granted.
Oh, absolutely. We barely even notice it anymore.
Yeah, and so today we're doing a deep dive into the source material, the Essential Guide to Life with Apple Watch. But our mission here isn't to just read you a spec sheet or a user manual.
No, nobody wants that.
Exactly. We want to extract the most surprising, aha moments about how this specific wearable is quietly reshaping everyday human behavior.
And that's really the only lens that makes sense for this device.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the Apple Watch as just a shrunken down iPhone, you completely miss the point.
Right.
The source material establishes this core thesis right away. The shift we're talking about is moving from a device that demands your absolute attention, like your phone, to a tool designed to operate mostly in the background. We're really looking at a proactive health companion, a fitness coach, a productivity assistant, and a personal safety net, all basically disguised as a watch.
Which is a huge shift. So before we look at all the things this device actually does, I think we have to understand what it prevents.
Yeah, that's a crucial starting point.
Because the biggest hurdle for any new tech is how much of our attention it demands, right? And the source leans heavily into this idea of the attention economy and this whole less is more philosophy.
It does. When it first launched, a lot of people viewed it as just an iPhone extension. But now its core value is really about not reaching for your phone.
Right. It lets you see text messages or the weather or your calendar with just a glance.
Exactly. And the guide highlights this massive benefit, which is reducing phone addiction. It prevents that trap of, unlocking your phone to check one tiny notification and then...
Oh, man. And then you just lose 20 minutes endlessly scrolling social media. We've all been there.
Right. It happens to everybody.
Okay, let's unpack this because it's almost like having a digital bouncer for your brain's VIP club, right? It checks the ID of the notification before letting it distract you.
Oh, I like that. A digital bouncer. That's a great way to put it.
But, I have to push back a little here. Doesn't putting a screen on your wrist just shift the distraction from your palm to your arm? How is it actually reducing screen time?
Well, what's fascinating here is the psychology of what the guide calls the glance.
The glance.
Yeah. By design, the watch is inherently a high-friction device for endless scrolling.
Right.
Right? You're not going to watch a movie on it. But it's a very low-friction device for raw information.
Okay, so it makes you decide instantly if something is actually important.
Exactly. Your wrist taps, you look down for maybe 2 seconds. If it's a promotional email, you drop your wrist and move on. The interaction is completely over.
There's no bottomless feed to fall into.
Right. So doing less on that screen actually makes you more productive in the real world. Features like focus modes or even just simple reminders, they keep you organized without breaking your concentration.
Yeah, that makes sense because you aren't opening the portal to, the dopamine slot machine of your phone.
Exactly.
But, filtering out all that digital noise leaves a bit of a void. And what naturally fills that void is an awareness of your physical self, which brings us to its role as a fitness coach.
Right, because once you aren't staring at your phone all day, you have a little more bandwidth to focus on moving your body.
And the hardest part of exercise isn't knowing what to do, right? It's the consistency. The guide details how the watch solves this with those 3 activity rings: move, exercise, and stand.
Yeah, the rings. They're incredibly effective. It auto-tracks workouts, measures your pace and distance, monitors heart rate zones, estimates calories, all of that.
But the magic, according to the source, is that you aren't competing with others.
No, not at all.
You're competing with yourself for one more walk or one more healthy day. It's like having a personal trainer who quietly follows you around with a clipboard, keeping track of everything without ever yelling in your face.
That's spot on. And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
It really explains why these micro goals are so effective.
Because big goals are scary.
Yeah, exactly. Big fitness goals like losing 50 pounds or running a marathon, they can be totally overwhelming.
Oh, for sure. Paralyzing, even.
Right. But breaking them down into closing these 3 simple visual rings creates this really powerful daily motivation. It's gamifying habits. And over time, these tiny little wins become lasting behavioral changes.
You just want to close the loop.
Yes, literally. Your brain wants to finish the task.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. That physical tracking, it doesn't stop when you finish your morning run, right? It runs 247 in the background.
Yes, constantly.
And this continuous monitoring is what transforms it from a simple fitness coach into a silent guardian, like a critical personal safety device.
Yeah, this is arguably the most profound shift in the technology. The guide outlines how it tracks heart rate, blood oxygen on supported models, sleep stages, and can even perform an ECG.
Wait, like an actual electrocardiogram?
Yeah, directly from your wrist.
Yeah.
But the text emphasizes that just collecting data isn't the point. It's about meaningful insights.
Right, because raw data is useless to most of us.
Exactly. The source gives this really powerful example. Imagine waking up feeling totally fine. Maybe a little tired, but nothing unusual. But your watch detects an irregular rhythm or an unusually high resting heart rate.
And it alerts you.
It alerts you. And there are documented cases where these silent alerts have led to early medical evaluations that uncovered serious, life-threatening heart conditions.
Wow. Conditions people were completely oblivious to.
Completely. And beyond internal health, it features fall detection, crash detection, and emergency SOS.
So if you're in a car crash,
It senses the impact using the gyroscope and accelerometer.
mm-hmm.
If you're incapacitated and don't respond, it bypasses you entirely and contacts emergency services and your family.
Which is absolutely crucial for older adults or, solo hikers or people driving late at night.
It acts as a literal safety net.
But, okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second. With this constant monitoring, how do we balance this incredible peace of mind against the risk of becoming, like, total hypochondriacs?
Oh, that's a very fair point.
Right, like overanalyzing every single heartbeat or slight chest pang. Aren't we just giving medical-grade tracking to anxious people?
This raises an important question, and it's something the source addresses carefully. It explicitly notes that the watch is not a replacement for medical care. It doesn't diagnose you.
It's more of an early warning system.
Exactly. It's a tool to encourage people to seek help sooner. The shift from reactive medicine waiting until you're in severe pain to proactive awareness means that simply knowing something is off can make all the difference. You learn to trust the background process without obsessing over the graphs.
Like airbags in a car. You know they're there, but you don't stare at the dashboard waiting for them to deploy.
Perfect analogy, yes.
Okay, so beyond life-saving alerts and fitness habits, the guide spends a lot of time on something much more mundane. And I think this is where the day-to-day magic really lies.
The micro-conveniences.
Yes, the accumulation of micro-conveniences. It's all about removing friction from your routine.
It really is. The text lists several of these tiny things. Buying coffee with Apple Pay so you don't need a wallet. Unlocking your Mac automatically when you sit down. Finding a misplaced iPhone in seconds by pinging it. Getting turn-by-turn walking directions with just haptic taps on your wrist.
Or opening a garage door, controlling smart lights, just checking the weather.
Right. And none of these things are life-changing on their own.
No, of course not. But for you listening, just think about how many times a day you pat your pockets looking for your wallet or your keys in a slight panic.
The dreaded pocket pat.
Yeah, right. It's like having a digital Swiss Army knife.
Right.
The true value isn't any single blade, but the fact that you always have exactly the right tool at exactly the right second.
And that synthesizes the point perfectly.
Yeah.
Because the biggest lifestyle improvements, they rarely come from massive overhauls.
Yeah.
They come from the compound effect of hundreds of small, repeated, daily improvements. You're reducing cognitive load. You don't realize how much mental energy you spend managing the logistics of your physical life until the friction is just gone.
It just makes life feel incredibly seamless.
It really does.
But, and this is a big but, with all these capabilities, the health monitoring, smart home controls, texts, emails, it could so easily become an overwhelming fire hose of information.
Oh, absolutely. It can be a nightmare if you aren't careful.
So how do you prevent the device from becoming just another noisy screen?
Well, the source gives explicit advice for beginners on this. The golden rule is, don't try to learn everything on day one.
You have to start with the basics.
Exactly. You treat it like a blank slate.
Yeah.
You set up your health profile so it knows your baseline. You customize the watch face with only the complications you actually find useful.
Like the weather or your next meeting.
Right. Then you enable sleep tracking, set up Apple Pay, and maybe explore focus modes. But crucially, and this is the most important part, you have to personalize your notifications.
So what does this all mean for the average user? Because if you just pull it out of the box, strap it on, and leave all the default settings on, Aren't you just inviting the exact digital noise we talked about avoiding in section 1?
Yes, 100%. Which is why the text emphasizes that the less unnecessary information the watch shows, the more useful it becomes.
It forces you to audit your attention.
Right. If you don't define your priorities, the default algorithms of the apps will define them for you. The best experience is one that is mercilessly customized for you.
A text from your partner gets through, but a random news alert doesn't.
Exactly. The device isn't designed to replace your phone. It's designed to replace the moments you shouldn't need your phone.
That's such a great way to put it, and it really brings us full circle on our deep dive today.
It does.
We've unpacked how this little piece of tech acts as an antidote to phone addiction, and a quiet fitness coach.
A silent medical guardian.
All right, and the manager of all of life's tiny micro inconveniences. The goal of this deep dive was really to give you, the listener, the ultimate shortcut to understanding this tech.
Cutting through all the marketing specs to reveal how it genuinely impacts daily life.
Exactly. It's about the behavioral shift. But before we wrap up, I know you had one final thought to leave us with based on the source material.
I do, yeah. It's something to mull over. The guide talks a lot about the watch quietly encouraging healthier habits, right? Seamlessly integrating into our actions.
Yeah, algorithmic nudges.
Right. So the thought is this. As wearable technology becomes even more invisible and integrated into our physical movements, will we eventually lose the ability to distinguish where our own biological instincts end and our algorithmic nudges begin?
Oh, wow. Are you going for a walk because your body craves it, or because a microchip trained your brain to crave the dopamine of a closed ring?
Exactly. It's a fascinating gray area.
That is a wild thought to leave on. Definitely makes you look at your wrist a little differently. Well, keep learning, keep questioning, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.